The OCR is the eyes and ears of the client at the worksite to observe the operation, not to manage it. Your onshore team need to know exactly what's happening at regular intervals. So an OCR will also be writing emails, possibly more formal reports, and sending in statistics on various spreadsheets. It's multitasking, but you need to understand the priorities. You shouldn't be writing emails in the office when a heavy lift is taking place, even if you do have a monitor screen there. Don't assume someone will read your email or text. If an emergency occurs, a direct call using a phone or radio is needed, followed up by more information in an email. Important items need to be communicated quickly. These will include accidents and injuries, serious machinery breakdowns, and damage to assets. You'll be exchanging information with the contractor throughout the day, so there's at least one formal project meeting around the table. But sometimes far more information is passed while talking next to the water cooler, because that isn't being recorded in the official minutes of meeting. And if you're ever told, "You must not talk to my crew," then something is definitely not right. You'll have to find out what the issue is and let your package manager ask the contractor why. As an OCR, you should have an access all areas pass, well, at least to an area where the work can be safely observed. An OCR must know how to filter information, judge what is not important, and transmit the significant information. And some may make no sense at all to your manager without additional background material. You'll need information at your fingertips because there will always be additional questions about anything that happens that is not routine. When considering safety, an OCR must look twice and say what could possibly go wrong, and then establish what would be the worst outcome. No one is an expert in all operations. That's why we're provided with written procedures known as risk assessments and method statements. The OCR must halt the work if unauthorized changes are made to the agreed procedures. It's part of the OCR's job to ensure that all relevant information is exchanged during the crew shift handovers, such as any important modifications that have been approved by the Management of Change system. Accuracy is important. As you can see, just one small omission can have an impact. Everyone must understand the task, which is why toolbox talks and shift handovers are so important. You and the contractor will need to talk openly when things don't go according to plan. Lessons learned meetings are important feedback mechanisms to avoid repeating mistakes. Sometimes you may need to encourage the contractor to take a time out for a safety meeting. And don't forget to praise the contractor's team when a job goes particularly well, especially if it took a long and difficult repair to get things working again. While onshore management teams focus on contractual obligations, project delays, and recompense, you and the superintendent should be discussing any ideas to minimize delays, sort out the physical problems, and get the floating factory back to work again. Although it's the contractor's responsibility to manage the work, you can help to develop a schedule that avoids other work clashes. This could be something as simple as saying, "Have you considered relocating another work site and doing alternative work, then returning here after the machine has been repaired? I've already checked and sites B and F will remain clear for the next 36 hours. Try to be proactive rather than reactive. You need to make accurate observations and transmit them to your management team ashore, So you'll need to be experienced in Microsoft Word, Excel, as well as Teams, Zoom, or Skype. You'll need to verify the accuracy of the daily progress reports prepared by the contractor. These will form part of the evidence for additional payments, for example, delays caused by another vessel, so they must be accurate. Finding a simple error of just 1 hour in a vessel's standby timings could save your client €5,000 or more in additional expenses.